بعد أسبوع من بدء العمليات العسكرية الروسية في أوكرانيا، ما زال المشهد مبهما في ظل تضارب التقارير الميدانية من كلا الطرفين. حتى دبلوماسيا لم تسفر المساعي الدولية لحد الساعة عن الكثير، بل على العكس حمل خط موسكو باريس الساخن إشارات غير مطمئنة ترجمها الإليزي بتصميم الرئيس الروسي فلاديمير بوتين على تحييد أوكرانيا ونزع سلاحها عسكريا أو دبلوماسيا.
رفاقي الأعزاء، أود أن أقول أن العملية العسكرية الخاصة تسير في موعدها المحدد حسب الخطة. تم تحقيق جميع الأهداف المحددة بنجاح. لا يتعلق الأمر بالرغبة في التحدث إلى بوتين. أعتقد أنني يجب أن أتحدث مع الرئيس الروسي على العالم كله أن يتحدث معه، لأنه لا توجد طريقة أخرى لوقف هذه الحرب. لهذا السبب علي أن أفعل ذلك.
قال الأمين العام لحلف شمال الأطلسي ستولتنبرغ إن الناتو لا يسعى للحرب مع روسيا، مضيفا أن الحلف يتحمل مسؤولية عدم توسع النزاع في أوكرانيا إلى خارج حدودها. أوضح ستولتنبرغ أن الحلف لا يعتزم التحرك باتجاه أوكرانيا بما في ذلك على الأرض أو الجو، مشيرا إلى توافق الحلفاء الغربيين بشأن ضرورة عدم وجود قوات للحلف في أراضي أوكرانيا أو أجوائها. وأضاف ستولتنبرغ أن الناتو سيحافظ على فتح قنوات الاتصال العسكرية مع روسيا، ولفت إلى التزام الحلف بإبقاء باب الدبلوماسية مفتوحا لتجنب أي تصعيد أو سوء فهم غير مقصود.
A massive blast lighting the sky and scorching the ground. Military analysts can't say precisely which weapons Russia is using, but this has some convinced Moscow is stepping up the conflict in a terrible way.
My guess is that that's a thermobaric weapon. That's a fuel-air explosive. It's a very, very devastating weapon.
A CNN team spotted launchers for thermobaric bombs near the Ukrainian border. They fire missiles which produce two blasts, the first rapidly filling the air with fuel vapor, the second igniting it with catastrophic effect, making some victims feel as if the air is being sucked from their lungs. Daniel Wasserly is with Jane's International Defense Review.
Let's say you have people hiding maybe in a basement or behind walls. They would not be protected against something like this, because the aerosols can get into the basement, they can move around walls, and they catch fire. And everybody dies a pretty awful death.
Human Rights Watch is also pointing to debris as evidence that Russians are launching cluster bombs, missiles that crack open in the air, flinging dozens of smaller, powerful explosives in all directions.
If you were driving in your car and a submunition landed on the roof of your car, you and your car would be done for.
So far, analysts say many of the Russian strikes appear to have involved common munitions, such as targeted cruise missiles. But civilian sites have been hit, either by design or accident, and U.S. officials expect worse.
The numbers of civilians killed and wounded, the humanitarian consequences will only grow in the days ahead.
Which brings us to that stalled Russian convoy near Kyiv, filled with artillery pieces, long a favorite tool of Russian generals. Analysts believe if those weapons get moving again and are placed around the city, they could rain devastating fire on military and civilian targets alike. Some of these weapons can kill so easily and indiscriminately, many nations have pledged to never use them, and Russia says it has not used them in Ukraine. But then Russia has said a lot about what it's doing in Ukraine, much of which is proven untrue. Tom Foreman, CNN, Washington.
This TV tower right here, just 3 miles from the city center. We've spoken with guards who were here yesterday. They say this attack from the Russians came with no warning. They believe that there were around 4 missiles that hit all across this area, including a direct impact on the tower itself. You can still very much see the damage, of course, a blackened area around the middle of it, as well as windows that have been shattered. But there were clearly a number of rockets that landed all over here, lots and lots of collateral damage. Now we know from Ukrainian authorities that some 5 people were killed. You can still see some of the blood on the sidewalk. Now, of course, we are across the street from that tower, but just take a look at this building and the state that it's in now. It is completely destroyed. Here on the ground floor, this is clearly a gym. You can see all the gym equipment, stationary bikes, elliptical trainer. There is still a fire going on there. Lots of smoke coming out of this building. Now, this is an area called Babin Yar, which is where one of the worst massacres of Jews in World War II happened. Some 30,000 people killed over the course of 2 days. So it's a very, very symbolic area. And here you have an attack by a man, Vladimir Putin, who claims that he is trying to denazify Ukraine on what is essentially hallowed ground. This is, in the words of the Secretary of State, Tony Blinken, an appalling attack. President Zelensky also saying that this is evidence of history repeating itself. We have heard time and time again from the Russians that they are not targeting civilian infrastructure. We heard that claim again today. But clearly, they are hitting civilian infrastructure and clearly killing a growing number of Ukrainians.
Конечно, потенциал объединенной организации НАТО России несопоставим. Но мы также понимаем, что Россия одна из ведущих ядерных победителей не будет. Знаете или нет, что если Украина будет в НАТО, военным путем будет возвращать себе Крым, европейские страны автоматически будут втянуты в военный конфликт с Россией. И вы окажетесь втянутыми в этот конфликт помимо своей воли. Не успеете глаз, когда будете исполнять